Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something that's literally the engine of an entire state, Karnataka's transport system. We're not just talking about roads and trains. This is the hidden network that connects millions of us and really fuels the state's growth. So let's get right into it. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about that? How does a whole state actually move? Every single day, you've got millions of people going to work or school, tons of food traveling from farms, and countless products heading out from factories. So how does all of that happen without total chaos? Well, that is the incredible, complex web we're going to untangle today. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by looking at why transport is called Karnataka's lifeline. Then, we're going to journey through the roads connecting every corner, hop on the rails with the great connectors, take to the skies for a bit of speed, and finally, we'll visit the ports, Karnataka's amazing gateways to the rest of the world. All right, first up, let's really dig into this idea of transport being a lifeline. Because, it's so much more than just getting from point A to point B. It's what makes everything else possible. Think of it like this. Transport is the crucial link in a huge chain. Karnataka is packed with resources, right? You've got crops, minerals, amazing products. But without a good way to move all that stuff, it's just stuck. Transport is what gets that food from a farm to your table, and those goods from a factory to the store. Seriously, without it, the whole economy just grinds to a halt. Okay, now let's hit the road. This is the most basic, the most fundamental mode of transport. It's the one that truly reaches into every single village and town across the state. And wow, this map really brings that whole lifeline idea to life, doesn't it? Just look at that incredible web of roads. Every single line you see is like an artery, pumping life and resources from the countryside to the cities and back again. This is exactly how farm produce gets to the big markets and how folks in villages can get to city services. It's the network that literally holds the state together. So this huge road network is actually organized into 4 different types. You've got the national highways, which are like the superhighways connecting big cities and other states. Then there are state highways, which link the capital, Bengaluru, to all the district headquarters. District roads then connect those headquarters to smaller towns. And finally, you have the village roads, the tiny capillaries that make sure every last village is connected to the bigger network. Each one has a really important job to do. And here's the number that shows you the sheer scale we're talking about. Over 332,000 kilometers of roads. That's the grand total for the entire network in Karnataka, from a massive 6-lane expressway all the way down to a tiny village path. It's just a huge number, and it represents a massive, massive effort. Now, this chart gives us a closer look at what those roads are actually like. About 36% of them are metalled, which is just a fancy way of saying they're the smooth, paved asphalt roads that we're all used to. The other 64%, though, are unmetalled, so think dirt or gravel roads. This really shows us just how much has been built, but it also highlights how much work is still needed to improve the road quality for everyone in the state. Now, while roads can get you almost everywhere, when it comes to long distances and really heavy cargo, there's another major player. So let's get on track and talk about the railways. The story of railways in Karnataka started way, way back in 1864 with just a single line, but just look at the growth since then. By 1956, it had expanded to over 2,500 kilometers, and today we're at more than 3,200 kilometers. That timeline shows over a century of steady progress, connecting more and more parts of the state by rail. And from that long history, we can leap right into the future of city travel. This is Bengaluru's Nama Metro. You see, as the city exploded in size, getting around became a gigantic challenge. The metro is the modern answer to that problem. It's designed to move hundreds of thousands of people across the city super fast, cutting down on traffic and travel time. It's an absolute game changer for a bustling city like Bengaluru. And speaking of game changers, we have to talk about the Konkan Railway. This route along the west coast is just an incredible feat of engineering. Get this. It's slashed the travel time between Bengaluru and Mumbai from a whopping 41 hours all the way down to just 18. And with all these amazing bridges, like the 2.2-kilometer-long one over the Sharavati River, it's not just efficient, it's beautiful. All right, let's change gears and climb to a much higher altitude. When you're short on time or in an emergency, there is absolutely no substitute for the speed and reach you get with air transport. So yeah, air travel is a pretty clear trade-off, isn't it? On one hand, it is hands down the fastest way to move people, mail, and light cargo over long distances. And it's absolutely vital during things like natural disasters or medical emergencies. But all that speed comes at a price, making it the most expensive way to travel, which means it's not really an option for everyone.
And to meet this need for speed, Karnataka is really well equipped. It has two big international airports, in Bangalore and Mangalore, plus domestic airports in cities like Hubli, Mysuru, and Belagavi. And here's a cool little fact for you. The Devanahalli International Airport near Bangalore is actually the country's first green airport, which shows a real commitment to building modern, sustainable stuff. Pretty neat, huh?
For our final stop on this journey, let's head to the coast. Because water transport, especially through the state's ports, plays a huge role in connecting Karnataka's economy to the entire globe.
What a powerful title, right? Gateway of Karnataka, and it belongs to the new Mangaluru port. Back in 1974, it was declared the 9th major port in the country, and it has absolutely lived up to that name. It is the main entry and exit point for all the goods flowing between Karnataka and the rest of the world.
So, what's actually moving through this giant gateway? Well, let's take a look. Leaving Karnataka, you've got some of its most famous products, things like iron ore, coffee, spices, and granite. And coming into the state are essentials, like petroleum. This simple table gives you a perfect snapshot of how this one port connects Karnataka's huge economy to the world market. So there you have it. From a small village path to a massive international port, we've seen how roads, rails, airways, and waterways all weave together to form one giant interconnected system. And what's really cool is that every single time you travel, whether it's out in a bus, a train, or in a car, you're a part of that much larger story of movement and progress. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Your journey is a part of Karnataka's story. So how will you travel next?